Hello everyone, welcome to Biochem Chronicles by Dr. Santoshini. In today's video, we'll be looking about classification of amino acids, mainly the four ways it is classified. 1 by the R group, 2 by the polarity and charge, 3 by the nutritional requirement and 4 by the metabolic fate. So in the previous video, we saw about the amino acid structure where we remember the magic number 4. So there's an amino group number 1, carboxyl group 2, a hydrogen and the variable R group, which is important for the biological and the chemical properties, right? So then we moved on to knowing the importance and the functions of the amino acids, how the peptide bonds are formed and what are the different peptides. We also looked into how from the DNA the amino acids are formed and hence the proteins. So today's class, as mentioned, will be going to the classification. So we already saw how broadly they are classified. One is R group. As we mentioned, it is the important way the amino acids are giving different properties. So then by the polarity, that is whether hydrophilic or phobic and whether they are positive or negatively charged. Third one is based on the nutritional requirement, whether you need to consume by diet or not. And the fourth one is the metabolic fate, that is how they are broken down, whether they form glucose or ketones. Okay. So first one, let's get into it based on the chemical nature. So first classification is aliphatic amino acids. So these are simple hydrocarbon chains and there is no rings present. Okay. So here you have the basic first amino acids, your glycine, alanine and your valine, leucine and isoleucine. That is your will amino acids, which are branched chain amino acids. Okay. So this is how the aliphatic amino acids are. They're very simple and they have hydrocarbon chains. So next is hydroxyl containing amino acids. So hydroxyl means the OH group. Okay. So they can form HH hydrogen bonds, and in this OH there can be a phosphorylation that can happen. So the examples are serine, threonine and tyrosine. Here tyrosine, you can also remember it is an aromatic amino acid. Okay. So the main ones is serine and threonine. Along with that tyrosine, which is both hydroxyl and aromatic amino acid, is present. So the third one is sulfur containing amino acids. Here we have two amino acids. Remember CM, cysteine and methionine. Cysteine is important for disulfide bonds which will stabilize your protein structure, and methionine is an important methyl donor, that is your S-adenosyl methionine. It plays a very important role in many of the methylation reactions which we will be looking in further classes. So CM, cysteine, methionine are sulfur containing amino acids. So the next one is acidic amino acids. So amino acids already have one acidic group. When they have an additional acidic group, they form this acidic amino acids. So under physiological pH, they undergo deprotonation, they release the H plus and they are negatively charged. So these are negatively charged. Remember this because this will help us in the next classification of amino acids. So there are two examples, aspartate or aspartic acid and glutamate or glutamic acid, which are again very vital for our body. The next one in row in the chemical nature classification is amide. Okay. So again it's very simple, nothing but your acidic amino acids, when the OH in the acidic group is converted to NH2, okay, it is your amide. So we had two amino acids there, no, aspartate and glutamate. So aspartate, when the NH2 group is added, is called aspargine and glutamate forms glutamine. Okay. So then moving on to the basic amino acids. So in acidic amino acids, we told the COOH group, there's an extra. So in basic amino acids, they have an extra amino group and they are positively charged. So acidic was negatively charged, they have an extra COOH. Basic has a extra amino group and are positively charged. So the examples are lysine, arginine and histidine. Okay. So here it's easy to remember that arginine and histidine, they are also semi-essential amino acids which we'll be looking in the next classification, but just remember that all these three, remember HAL, histidine, arginine, lysine are basic amino acids. Okay. So then moving on to aromatic amino acids, they have an aromatic ring. So they are ring structures. They are three in forms: phenylalanine, tyrosine and tryptophan. Okay. Remember we saw tyrosine also under which classification? Hydroxyl group containing amino acids. Another important point to remember regarding this aromatic amino acids is they absorb UV light at 280 nanometer, and this property is used to quantify the amino acids generally. Fine. So the last classification under the chemical nature classification is your amino acids, and only one we have is, and it is proline. Okay. This has a secondary amino group and a ring structure. That is why it is known as amino acid. Fine. So that's about the first classification. So we had 8 types under this. So for aliphatic, only simple hydrocarbon chains. Then we have sulfur containing CM, that is cysteine and methionine. Then aromatic, they have a ring structure. Okay. So phenylalanine, tyrosine and tryptophan. Then acidic and extra COOH group, and what charge they were? Negatively charged, aspartate and glutamate. When the COOH group has an NH2 along with it, it is asparagine and glutamine. So basic, they have an extra amino group and they were positively charged, and remember histidine, arginine and lysine. Then the amino acid, it has a ring structure again, proline, and hydroxyl containing amino acids, they undergo reactions like phosphorylation, serine, threonine and tyrosine. Okay. So the next classification is number 2, based on polarity and charge. So broadly, first we classify them whether they are hydrophilic or hydrophobic. Polar means love, hydrophilic, non-polar means they do not love water, they are hydrophobic. Okay. The polar amino acids are further classified into charged and uncharged amino acids. So the easiest way to remember, I will tell you, please focus, you will never forget it again. So charged, what are the two types of charge that can be? Either they can be a positive or negative charge. So we already saw acidic amino acids are negatively charged. So aspartic acid and glutamic acid will fall under this. And we already saw basic amino acids are positively charged. That is your HAL, histidine, arginine and lysine. Okay. So that will be your basic, your positively charged amino acids. Then coming to uncharged. Okay. Do you remember these three? Where did you see them? Your hydroxyl group containing serine, threonine and tyrosine, right? And what is these two? Asparagine and glutamate, they are nothing but the amide derivatives of your acidic amino acids. So your hydroxyl group and your amide group amino acids will fall under your uncharged polar amino acids. Just an extra addition you have is your cysteine. So all that which is other than these classification will fall under your non-polar. If you want to still remember this better, all your aliphatic amino acids and the remaining aromatic amino acids fall under this category. Okay. And what are the remaining ones other than these two? Methionine and proline, your amino acid, and the another sulfur containing amino acid, methionine. Okay. So this is the easiest way you can remember. Do not forget this. If you know this, it's easy to answer. So the third classification is based on nutritional requirement. So we completed chemical nature, then based on polarity and charge, and now we go to nutritional requirement. So here again we have essential, semi-essential and non-essential. So essential means it is essential, that is you must obtain it to your diet, that is your body cannot produce it. Okay. So to remember this, remember the mnemonic private Tim Hall or PVT Tim Hall. P stands for phenylalanine, V for valine, T for threonine and Tim, T for tryptophan, I for isoleucine, M for methionine, Hall, HLL, okay, histidine, leucine and lysine. So remember this mnemonic, it is very simple. So these are the essential amino acids. So next is your semi-essential and non-essential. Semi-essential means they can be produced in your body, but in some conditions like during times of growth, you need them extra in production. So you consume extra from the diet. So there are only two. Remember, your histidine and arginine. Okay. So all that comes other than your essential and semi-essential will form your non-essential. That is, you don't need to consume by diet particularly. They can be produced in your body. Okay. So that is the third classification. So coming to the last classification, metabolic fate. So metabolism contains two processes, right? catabolism and anabolism. So anabolism is the formation and catabolism is a breakdown. Amino acids can be broken into two things, either ketones or glucose, okay, or it can also be formed into two. So that is how you classify this classification. So the easy way to remember is, first remember the ketogenic amino acids, that is they form acetyl CoA or acetoacetate, which will form the ketone bodies. Remember LL, leucine and lysine, okay. So then you remember the glucogenic and ketogenic amino acids, that is they can form both glucose and the ketone bodies. So how will you remember this? What is phenylalanine, tyrosine and tryptophan coming under? They are aromatic amino acids. So all your aromatic amino acids and IT, that is your isoleucine and threonine, are both glucogenic and ketogenic. So if you remember this and this, all that is remaining is your glucogenic amino acids, that is they form glucose and they play a very important role in your gluconeogenesis, that is production of glucose in case of fasting states, okay. So remember ketogenic LL and your glucogenic and ketogenic amino acids, that is your aromatic and your IT, isoleucine and threonine, then it's very simple to remember this. So that's all about classification of amino acids. So broadly we had 4 classification based on R group, polarity, then charge, nutritional and metabolic fate. So to know more about amino acids, please like, share and subscribe. Before we complete, we'll get into the MCQs. So the first MCQ is, which of the following amino acids is classified as an amide derivative of an acidic amino acid? Option 1 is glutamic acid. Is it an amide derivative? No. Is it is the acidic amino acid? So obviously no. What is asparagine? It is an amide derivative? Yes. Your aspartic acid is converted to your asparagine, okay. So what about lysine? No. Histidine? No. It is a basic amino acid. So which is the answer? Asparagine, right? So the next question is, which pair represents the purely ketogenic amino acid? So what was the mnemonic? LL. So leucine and isoleucine. Is it leucine is ketogenic? Okay, but is isoleucine ketogenic? No. Leucine and lysine? Yes. Lysine and histidine? Again no. Valine and leucine? Again no. So the answer is option B. The third question is, which one of the following statements regarding amino acid classification is correct? Option A, methionine is both aromatic and sulfur containing. Is it right? Sulfur is right, but is it aromatic? No. What are the aromatic amino acids? Phenylalanine, tyrosine and tryptophan. Tyrosine is aromatic but cannot undergo phosphorylation. Is it true? Tyrosine has OH group, so which means it can undergo phosphorylation. So again, it is wrong. So option A, B is gone. Option C is, proline is classified as an amino acid because its amino group forms a ring. Yes, it forms a ring. And option D is, histidine is an acidic amino acid. No, it is a basic amino acid. So what is the correct answer? Option C, proline. So these are some of the very important questions which you can expect in your PG preparation exam. And that's all for today. So the take home message is the 4 main magic number classification based on side chain or R group, based on polarity, essentiality and the metabolic fate. So you can scan this QR code and you can collect the PDF of this particular chapter, the MCQs and the revision sheets. So until next video, keep learning, enjoy biochemistry and thanks for watching. Have a great day.